Welcome, dear viewers. Today we're diving into one of the most powerful teachings of Stoicism. Endure pain with dignity, enjoy pleasure with moderation. These words hold a key to leading a life of strength, resilience, and wisdom. In a world that often encourages the pursuit of fleeting pleasures and runs from discomfort, the Stoic philosopher asks us to flip this narrative on its head. But how can we endure pain with dignity? And why is enjoying pleasure with moderation so crucial to our well-being? Let's explore this concept deeply. Pain is inevitable. It is part of the human condition. Whether it's physical suffering, emotional turmoil, or the struggles we face daily, pain will come. The Stoics don't shy away from acknowledging this fact. In fact, they teach us to embrace it, not in the sense of seeking pain, but in accepting it with grace and resilience. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This speaks directly to our ability to endure pain. Pain can strike us unexpectedly, whether it's the loss of a loved one, the disappointment of failure, or a physical injury. But how we respond defines our character. Instead of succumbing to despair or self-pity, Stoicism urges us to accept the pain with dignity. Dignity means not allowing pain to define us or strip us of our humanity. It means responding with composure, courage, and strength. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is a powerful reminder that pain can become a path to personal growth. In life, when we experience pain, it's not about avoiding it, but learning to navigate it. Dignity in the face of pain means keeping our minds intact, our values strong, and our actions purposeful. The pain might still be there, but we choose not to let it control us. We endure with grace, and this grace is what gives us the inner strength to weather any storm. Now let's shift to pleasure, something that many people chase relentlessly in an attempt to fill a void. The pursuit of pleasure is not inherently bad, but the Stoic principle is clear. Enjoy pleasure with moderation. Stoicism teaches us that excessive indulgence in pleasure leads to destruction, not fulfillment. The modern world often glorifies indulgence, from the endless chase for material wealth to seeking quick gratification through food, entertainment, or social media. We are constantly bombarded with the idea that more is better. However, the Stoics would disagree. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." What does this mean? It means that we should not be slaves to our desires. Pleasure, when sought in excess, can often lead to dependency or discontentment. The more we indulge, the less satisfaction we ultimately feel. When we chase pleasure endlessly, we lose the ability to truly appreciate it. Moderation, on the other hand, allows us to find a balance. It's about enjoying life's pleasures but without excess. Think of food, for example. Eating in moderation isn't about denying yourself pleasure. It's about being mindful and appreciating the taste and nourishment that food provides. It's the same with all pleasures. Simple pleasures, when enjoyed with moderation, create a sense of satisfaction that lasts, while excessive indulgence often leads to emptiness. So where do we find the balance between enduring pain with dignity and enjoying pleasure with moderation? This philosophy isn't about rejecting pain or pleasure, but finding a way to live harmoniously with both. Stoicism teaches us that life is about resilience in the face of adversity and moderation in the pursuit of joy. The Stoic approach to pain is empowering. By embracing pain, we remove its power to destroy us. When we endure with dignity, we turn suffering into a tool for growth. Similarly, by enjoying pleasure in moderation, we prevent it from becoming a source of dependence and maintain our inner peace. In summary, to live a Stoic life means to face life's challenges head-on and without fear. Pain, while inevitable, doesn't need to be something that controls us. When we approach pain with dignity, we retain our autonomy and sense of self, regardless of what we experience. Similarly, by practicing moderation in our pursuit of pleasure, we create a life that is balanced, meaningful, and fulfilling. As we continue this journey, Keep in mind that pain is not the enemy and neither is pleasure. The key is to approach both with wisdom, self-control, and resilience. Join me in the next part as we dive deeper into the ways Stoicism can help us transform our reactions and actions in the face of life's ups and downs. In the first part of our journey through Stoicism, we explored how to endure pain with dignity and enjoy pleasure with moderation. Now let's take a step further. How can we apply these principles in our everyday lives? Stoicism isn't just about theorizing these ideas. It's about actively incorporating them into our actions and thoughts. By doing so, we can turn our pain into a powerful tool for growth and ensure that pleasure serves us rather than ruling over us. Let's explore how to truly live Stoic wisdom. Pain, as we discussed, is inevitable. Whether it's emotional, physical, or existential, we will experience it. However, Stoics teach us that pain can be a source of transformation. Think of it as a refiner's fire, purging us of excess, teaching us resilience, and strengthening our inner fortitude. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on how adversity could lead to greater wisdom, strength, and moral clarity. For instance, when facing a difficult situation, instead of resisting or fearing the pain, ask yourself, what can this pain teach me? Can it help me develop greater patience, resilience, or empathy? Rather than viewing pain as something to escape from, Stoicism invites us to use it as an opportunity to grow and to expand our virtues. When we embrace pain in this way, it no longer holds the same power over us. It doesn't mean we seek suffering, but we recognize that pain is part of the process of becoming the best version of ourselves. The Stoics would say that our actions in the face of pain reveal our true character. So rather than avoiding difficult circumstances, we meet them with courage and grace, knowing that everything is within our control. How we react, how we respond, and what we learn from it. On the other side of the coin, pleasure is something that many of us seek relentlessly. The temptation to indulge can be strong, whether it's the pursuit of wealth, fame, food, or sensory enjoyment. However, the Stoic approach to pleasure is clear. Moderation is the key. Excessive indulgence often leads to emptiness, dependence, and a loss of self-mastery. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, put it simply, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In everyday life, this could be applied in several ways. Let's take material wealth as an example. The pursuit of money is not inherently wrong, but when it becomes an obsession, it often leads to stress, dissatisfaction, and a lack of inner peace. Stoicism asks us to reflect, how much is enough? How can I enjoy what I have without becoming overly attached to it? How can I appreciate life's pleasures without allowing them to define me? Similarly, with food, drink, or entertainment, Stoicism teaches us that excessive indulgence does not lead to happiness, but rather to dissatisfaction and a loss of control. The simple pleasures in life, a shared meal, a beautiful sunset, a peaceful moment of reflection, are far more fulfilling when we savor them in moderation, rather than consuming them endlessly in pursuit of fleeting pleasure. In this sense, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what truly nourishes our soul. Pleasure, when enjoyed in moderation, allows us to appreciate life deeply, without the fear of excess leading to an unsustainable craving. We can experience more joy when we are not overwhelmed by our desires. Now that we understand the principles of enduring pain with dignity and enjoying pleasure with moderation, the real challenge lies in integrating these ideas into our daily lives. Stoicism is all about action. Let's look at some practical ways to implement these Stoic teachings. Number 1. Mindful reflection. At the start of each day, take a moment to reflect on the challenges you might face. Prepare yourself to endure whatever comes your way with dignity and grace. Whether it's a difficult conversation, a challenging work task, or an emotional struggle, remind yourself that you are in control of how you react. Number 2. Gratitude for what you have. Instead of constantly striving for more, practice gratitude for what you already have. This will help you appreciate life's simple pleasures and recognize the value in moderation. Number 3. Resisting immediate gratification. Whether it's the urge to eat that extra dessert, scroll endlessly on social media, or buy something you don't really need, practice self-control. Ask yourself if indulging in this pleasure is worth sacrificing your long-term peace and happiness. Number 4. Turning adversity into opportunity. When pain or discomfort arises, don't resist it. Instead, use it as a tool for personal growth. Reflect on how this challenge can teach you something valuable, whether it's patience, resilience, or humility. Number 5. Cultivate inner peace. By embracing moderation in your pleasures and dignity in your pain, you will start to cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace. Over time, you'll realize that external circumstances, whether good or bad, no longer have the same power over your emotional well-being. In conclusion, applying the Stoic principles of enduring pain with dignity and enjoying pleasure with moderation requires practice, but the rewards are immense. By turning adversity into opportunity and appreciating life's simple pleasures, we can live a life that is not only fulfilling but truly meaningful. In the next part, we'll explore how Stoicism can help us build resilience in the face of life's challenges, ensuring that we grow stronger with each obstacle. In the previous sections, we've explored how to endure pain with dignity and enjoy pleasure with moderation. Now we'll delve into one of the core tenets of Stoicism: building resilience. Stoicism teaches us that life is full of challenges, but it is our response to these challenges that shapes our character. Instead of being defeated by adversity, Stoics urge us to transform it into a stepping stone toward becoming stronger, wiser, and more virtuous. But how do we build resilience through Stoic principles? Let's explore how we can train ourselves to respond with strength, equanimity, and inner peace, no matter what life throws our way. A foundational concept in Stoicism is the idea of control. The Stoics believe that there are only two things we have control over in life: our own thoughts and actions. Everything else, our circumstances, the behavior of others, and the external world, is beyond our control. This is an incredibly liberating idea. When we stop trying to control things outside our power, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress, anxiety, and frustration. Epictetus put it succinctly: we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. In life, challenges and adversity will come, but the key to resilience lies in understanding what we can control: our mindset and our actions. When we face pain, discomfort, or difficult situations, we must ask ourselves, what can I control here? Can I control the way I react, the way I think, or the way I choose to behave? Once we shift our focus to what is within our control, we regain the power to navigate through any storm with grace and strength. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulty, but about embracing it as a tool for growth. The Stoics teach us that every obstacle can be transformed into an opportunity. When life presents challenges, whether in the form of pain, loss, failure, or disappointment, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. But instead of allowing these setbacks to define us, Stoicism offers a different perspective. Use the obstacle to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about how adversity shapes the soul. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, our struggles are not roadblocks. They are the path to wisdom and virtue. When we face hardships, we can ask ourselves, how can I grow from this experience? What is this challenge teaching me? Can I develop more patience, more resilience, more compassion? By shifting our perspective, we can transform adversity into a catalyst for personal growth. Building resilience doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent practice and self-reflection. Stoicism provides us with tools that we can use daily to strengthen our mental and emotional resilience. Number 1, journaling and reflection. One of the core practices of Stoicism is daily reflection. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Ask yourself how you handled challenges during the day and consider what you could have done better. Marcus Aurelius did this daily, and his meditations offer a glimpse into his process of self-improvement. Journaling allows us to connect with our inner thoughts and identify areas of growth. Number 2, negative visualization. Another Stoic practice is called premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization. This involves imagining worst-case scenarios to prepare ourselves for adversity. By contemplating what could go wrong, we mentally prepare ourselves for challenges. This doesn't mean being pessimistic, but rather realizing that difficulties are inevitable and preparing ourselves to face them with strength and composure when they arise. Number 3. Focus on virtue. Stoicism teaches that virtue, living a life of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the highest good. When we align our actions with virtue, we create a solid foundation for resilience. No matter what happens externally, our inner sense of virtue provides us with the strength to keep moving forward. Number 4. Practicing detachment. A key aspect of resilience is learning to detach ourselves from the things we cannot control. This doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves, but rather recognizing that external circumstances, whether positive or negative, do not define us. When we learn to detach from the need for external validation and material outcomes, we become less vulnerable to emotional upheaval. As we reach the final part of our journey into Stoicism, we arrive at the ultimate goal: inner peace. Throughout this series, we've discussed how to endure pain with dignity, enjoy pleasure with moderation, and build resilience in the face of life's challenges. But the question remains, how can we maintain peace of mind in a world full of uncertainty, chaos, and constant change? Stoicism teaches us that peace isn't something we find externally, but rather something we cultivate internally. True peace comes from our ability to control our reactions, let go of what we cannot change, and live according to our values. In this final part, we'll explore how to achieve and sustain inner peace, no matter what life throws our way. For the Stoics, inner peace is the ultimate goal. It's the state of being where we are not controlled by our external circumstances, but rather guided by our own inner wisdom. Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This quote perfectly encapsulates the Stoic belief that peace comes from within. When we take control of our minds, our thoughts, and our actions, we create a foundation of peace that cannot be shaken by external events. In a world filled with distractions, stress, and uncertainty, it can be difficult to maintain inner peace. However, Stoicism teaches that the secret to peace is to focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. This doesn't mean we become passive or resigned to life's hardships, but rather that we choose not to let external circumstances disturb our inner tranquility. The first step to achieving inner peace is detachment. We must detach ourselves from outcomes and material pursuits. In Stoicism, we understand that while we can take action and strive for success, the results are not guaranteed. When we detach from the need for external validation and the desire to control everything, we free ourselves from frustration and disappointment. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is to live in harmony with nature. The Stoics believed that we are part of a larger cosmic order, and that by aligning ourselves with the natural world and its rhythms, we can live more peacefully. Living according to nature means accepting things as they are and recognizing that change is inevitable. The seasons change, people come and go, and life's circumstances are constantly shifting. Instead of resisting these changes, the Stoic mindset teaches us to flow with them rather than against them. By embracing change and accepting the impermanence of life, we can reduce the stress and anxiety that comes from trying to control or cling to things that are beyond our reach. This acceptance allows us to live with a greater sense of serenity and contentment, no matter what challenges arise. For the Stoics, virtue, living a life of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the key to inner peace. The Stoic believes that peace comes from living in accordance with our highest values. When we align our actions with virtue, we create a deep sense of fulfillment that external circumstances can't diminish. The Stoics teach that peace is not about avoiding conflict or hardship, but about responding with wisdom and virtue in the face of adversity. It's about living in a way that is true to our deepest principles, even when the world around us is chaotic. One of the most powerful practices for achieving inner peace is self-reflection. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius spent a great deal of time reflecting on his thoughts, actions, and reactions, which allowed him to live with greater clarity and tranquility. Through regular reflection, we can become more mindful of our emotions and thoughts and respond to challenges in a more peaceful and thoughtful manner. How can we apply Stoic teachings to cultivate inner peace in our everyday lives? Here are a few practical steps. Number 1. Focus on what you can control. Every day, remind yourself of what is within your control. You cannot control the actions of others or the outcome of every situation, but you can control how you respond. Let go of things outside your control and focus your energy on your own actions and thoughts. Number 2. Embrace change and impermanence. Accept that life is constantly changing. Embrace the flow of life, understanding that every moment, both good and bad, is temporary. By doing so, you will cultivate greater equanimity and reduce the anxiety that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Number 3. Practice virtue. Live according to your highest values. Be wise, courageous, just, and moderate in your actions. When you act with virtue, you create a sense of peace that comes from knowing you are living authentically. Number 4. Daily reflection. Take a moment each day to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Ask yourself, did I act in accordance with my values? What can I improve? How did I handle adversity today? This practice will help you become more mindful and intentional in your actions, leading to greater inner peace. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that inner peace is not something we find in external circumstances, but something we cultivate within ourselves. By focusing on what we can control, accepting the impermanence of life, and living according to virtue, we can achieve a profound sense of peace no matter what challenges we face. As you conclude this video, remember that Stoicism is not a destination but a lifelong journey. The more we practice these principles, the more peace we will find within ourselves. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Stoic wisdom, and may you take these teachings with you as you find strength, resilience, and inner peace in all aspects of your life.